Hi, my dear children. Very good morning to all of you. I am Satish Kumar, your science teacher at Dr. Bison School. Children, in the previous videos, the last three videos we were discussed about classification of animals based on the food they eat, based on the habitat, that is the place where they live. Do you remember? Based on the reproduction, how they are going to reproduce, either by producing eggs or giving birth to the young ones directly, isn't it? So we have learnt about such type of classifications in the previous videos. And you remember one thing, the animals which were grouped, that is classification of animals into groups based on the food they eat, were classified as, yes, herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous. What are herbivorous? Animals which eat only plants, only vegetable products. And the animals which eat only meat are said to be called as carnivorous, and they say generally carnivores are hunters. Not all, some. And omnivorous, the animals which eat both plants as well as animals, that is flesh of some other animals or body parts of some other animals, are said to be called as omnivorous. And based on the place they live on land, they were categorized as terrestrial animals. If they live on underwater, they were called as aquatic animals. And some we see the fly in the air, live on the tree spot. We can call it as nest. Sorry, birds. You can see the birds. They used to fly in the air, unlike the animals which walk on the land. So there are so many such classifications we have discussed in your early part of the classes, isn't it? And such type of classifications, still some are there which are very interesting to discuss. And here remember one more thing, an animal can be placed in different groups. Animal can be placed in different groups. Say for example, cow. Cow is an herbivore as it eats only plant part. Where when it comes to cow, based on its reproduction, you can say it is a mammal. And the cow lives on land. So it can be treated as a terrestrial animal. I used to say this in the previous video. The animals which live on the land are said to be called as terrestrial animals, and the animals that live underwater are to be called as aquatic animals. So we have learnt about many classification of animals. Out of those, you can observe an animal can be placed in the different groups, isn't it? So one such table has been given to you, sorry, blanks has been given to you. We have to check out that the animal that was going to present in different groups. Let us all of you go to your studio book. All of you open a studio book, page number 34. Page number 34, yes. Now, page number 34, okay, my dear students. So, an animal can be classified into different groups based on its characteristics. For example, a cow can be placed in different groups just as I explained you. I'm explaining you or not? Yes. Now, look at the blanks portion given there. Based on what it eats, based on what it eats, the cow is a dash. Based on what it eats, the cow is a. The cow is a. What we have to call the cow? It comes under which group? Yes, herbivore. The cow is a herbivore. So fill the blank portion with herbivore. Okay, now comes to the next one. Based on where it lives. It lives on the land, isn't it? So the cow is a. It is to be called as a terrestrial animal. Terrestrial animal. Okay. Similarly, One more question asked on the cow based on how it reproduces. How it reproduces. See, we know the cow reproduces directly to the calf and it feeds with its milk. The cow is a dash. It is mammal. You can call it as a mammal. Okay, my dear students. So, based on what it eats, the cow is an herbivore. The cow is a herbivore. Based on where it lives, the cow is to be called as a terrestrial animal. And based on how it reproduces, the cow is a mammal. The cow is a mammal. Okay, my dear students. So that means what you can understand here? An animal can be placed into different groups based on its characteristics. We learnt about classification of animals based on the food they eat. We learnt about the classification of animals based on how they reproduce. Also we learnt about the classification of animals, how they reproduce. How they reproduce or how they move. There are so many things. We learnt about how they reproduce two types, egg-laying animals and mammals. Egg-laying animals are those who lays eggs to give birth to the young ones. So incubation period will be there. For a set after certain incubation period, the young ones we come out from the eggs. Okay, my dear students. So mammals give birth directly to the young ones. Human beings also mammals. Get the cow, and then explain cat, isn't it? Do you remember those? Lion, tiger, cheetah, leopard, fox, jackal, all these, dog, these are all comes under mammals only. Okay, my dear students. Now, what next? Now we are going to learn about some more classifications. First, we are going to learn about one more important classification. Okay, so whatever discussed so far, the food habits, based on the food habits we classified, based on where they live we classified, based on how they reproduce also we classified. Now we are going to classify the animals based on the specific features of their bodies. Specific features of their bodies. Now let's learn such one classification now. So classification, or you can say classifying, that's better. Classifying animals based on presence or absence of vertebral column. So here we are going to classify the animals. I said based on the specific feature of their bodies. In that I have selected one feature, that is presence or absence of vertebral column. So this is one specific feature of a body. What is meant by this vertebral column? So vertebral column is commonly called as the backbone. Or spine. It is called as the backbone or spine. Okay. This is an important part of the animal's skeleton. Most important part of the animal's skeleton. Okay, my dear students, you all know about skeleton. You have witnessed in your earlier classes part, right? So, of the animal skeleton, which is the most important part, that is vertebral column. It is commonly called as backbone or spine. Backbone or spine. Okay, my dear students, this vertebral column is an important part of the animal skeleton. It provides the shape and structure. What it provides? Shape and structure to the body of an animal. It provides a shape and structure to the body of an animal, and it also connects who? This vertebral column connects all the parts of the skeleton. It also connects all the parts of skeleton. All the parts of skeleton. Okay, do you understand? So, what is meant by vertebral column? Vertebral column is commonly known as the backbone or spine. Backbone or spine. And it is the most important part of the animal skeleton. And it provides shape and structure by connecting all the parts of the skeleton. Okay, my dear students. So, based on the presence of the vertebral column or the absence of vertebral column, we can classify the animals into groups. Okay, my dear students. So we are going to classify the animals based on the presence or absence of vertebral column. What is meant by vertebral column? It is nothing but commonly called as backbone or spine, which is an important part of the animal's skeleton. Okay, what does it provides? What is the importance of this vertebral column? This vertebral column provides shape and structure by connecting all the parts of the skeleton. Okay, my dear students. So just to note down somewhere in your book. So easy to remember those points. Okay, my dear students. Previously, we have done classification on different characteristics, and this time we are going to classify the animals based on the presence or absence of vertebral column. This is nothing but one of the specific feature of a body. So, what is meant by vertebral column? Yes, it is commonly called as the backbone or spine. Okay, and this is an important part of the animal skeleton. What does it provide? It provides shape and structure. It provides shape and structure. And one more thing, by connecting all the parts of the skeleton. So, a perfect structure and shape can be attained to the body of an animal when it possesses vertebral column or the backbone or spine. Okay, my dear students. Now, shall we move to the classification of animals? Yes, you can see about the classification of animals based on the presence of vertebral column or the absence of vertebral column. So, the animals were categorized, grouped into, classified into two groups. How many groups? Two groups, classified into two groups. Classified into two groups. They are, first one, vertebrates. Vertebrates. Animals were classified into two groups based on the presence or absence of the vertebral column. One such group I mentioned here is vertebrates, and another one is invertebrates. Another one is invertebrates. Okay, my dear students. So this is a classification of animals in two groups based on presence or absence of vertebral column. Before that, an important, a simple activity has been given to you to understand backbone. To understand backbone. Let's all of you go to your page number 34 and look the activity number 2.7. That is look within. Look within activity 2.7. Look within activity 2.7. All of you open your textbook and go through it. So before going to classification of animals based on the presence or absence of vertebral column, just have a look about or have a better understanding about the backbone. Are you ready for it? Yes. Find out what it means for a person to be called the backbone of something. So like we discuss about the backbone for animals, some persons also can be called as the backbone of something. So who is to be called as the backbone of something? That is we are going to discuss it now. The first question asked here, who do you think is the backbone of your family? So you have a family of 4 members or 5 members or 3 or more, you can have a joint family, whatever it may be. So who do you think is the backbone of your family? Think out. Who do you think is the backbone of your family? Who do you think is the backbone of your family? So someone say father, someone say mother. So there will be the answers may change from one family to another family depend on the dependents. I can say the backbone of my family is my father. So when respect to me, the father is the backbone of my family. I feel the father is the backbone of my family. Someone can feel the mother is the backbone of their family or his family. Okay, so myself, I feel father is the backbone of my family. So for the first one answer part, I am going to write it as that one only. My father is the backbone. Is the backbone of my family. Number 2. Why do you think so? Before going to move to the next question, here we can use this backbone in different scenarios. I mean, different situations. Agriculture. So from over the years, agriculture is the backbone of our Indian economy. We use it to say many a times. The most essential part. Agriculture is the backbone of our Indian economy. Sachin Tendulkar is the backbone of our Indian cricket team in the era of 1990s and 2000s. We can say Sachin Tendulkar is the backbone of our Indian cricket team. Like that, for different fields, for different situations, we can have backbones. Who is the most essential one and the prominent one and the more important one? So when our Indian cricket team is in crisis, if it lost many wickets, Sachin Tendulkar used to hold the match. He used to win us for many a times. That's why we used to call as the backbone of Indian cricket team. Of course, there are so many legendary players were there, but he is the one can be called as the backbone of Indian cricket team. So the backbone of Indian cricket team or any cricket team changes from era to era, period to period. Now you can say Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, they are leading the team. Like that. So, similarly, agriculture is the backbone of our Indian economy. Okay, so like that you can use a backbone in many situations. Now, why do you think so? So, why do you think the father is the backbone of your family or mother is the backbone of your family? Anyone, anything. So, what do you think? Yes. I feel I'm going to write down my responses here. Sir, you can fill out any new response you thought of. Okay. My father, my father has the strength of character. Strength of character. Also, he holds our family together. He holds our family together. Also, in difficult times or if we face any problems, we use it to move to our Father only. So I consider for my family, my father is the backbone. Similarly, you can think out some other responses. If you got any new response in relation to this, you can write it down with the help of your parents. Okay, my dear students? And how do you feel about having a backbone of the family? So just now I said these are the two reasons, and my father is the backbone of my family. So how I'm feeling? I'm feeling very proud, and at the same time, I'm feeling very responsible also for having my father as the backbone of my family. Okay, now coming to the next one here. Classification of animals based on the presence or the absence of vertebral column. Are you ready for it? Yes. So classified into how many types? Two types, vertebrates and invertebrates. What are these vertebrates? See, the animals which have backbone are called vertebrates. Very simple. Animals that have vertebral column or you can say backbone are said to be called as vertebrates. Okay. Now, what are invertebrates? The animals that do not have a vertebral column are called invertebrates. Okay, my dear students. So, in this chapter, we are going to learn about some more important groups present in the vertebrates and invertebrates. First of all, what are vertebrates? Animals that have backbone are called vertebrates. What are invertebrates? Animals that do not have vertebral column or backbone or spine are called invertebrates. So first I want to discuss about invertebrates. These invertebrates were classified into so many groups. Many players, so many groups in which again we have subgroups are also there. That is a very huge classification. Okay, so invertebrates can also be classified into so many groups. I am going to mention some. Out of that, we are going to learn about only very two groups only. Only very important two groups which are, as you are being a class of fifth, it is difficult to learn about all the groups that comes under the invertebrates. Okay, my dear students, so come again. Animals were categorized into two groups based on the presence or the absence of vertebral column. Animals that have vertebral column are called as vertebrates. Animals that do not have vertebral column are called as invertebrates. These invertebrates were classified into so many groups. So many groups. One group I can mention here, arthropods. Arthropods, you can say arthropods. One more, mollusks. Okay, mollusks. And one more is annelids. Annelids. And here one more, cnidarians. Cnidarians. Okay, my dear students, these invertebrates further classified into so many groups. Though these are four main groups, they are arthropods. What are they? Arthropods. In arthropods, you can write the groups as insects, insects and arachnids. insects and arachnids. Let's we check out it is visible or not. Yes, insects and arachnids. Okay, my dear students. Now comes to mollusks. Mollusks here you can take the examples of snails and one more examples under this group, octopuses. Snails, octopuses. Octopus having 8 legs. You can see octo. We'll discuss it later. Annelids, earthworms, vanapon, earthworms and leeches. Leeches, jalagal. Okay. Next comes under nidarians. You can have hydra, jellyfish, sea anemones like that. Hydra, jellyfish, etc. will come under this group. Okay, my students. So invertebrates were further classified into different groups. Those are arthropods, mollusks, annelids, and nidarians. It's a very difficult classification for you to understand at this age. That's why in your textbook he has given only 2 groups of invertebrates. Those are insects and arachnids. Only these 2. You are going to learn about only the insects and arachnids under the invertebrates in your class 5th. So when you go to your higher classes, you will have the availability of these classifications where you can able to understand. Okay, my dear students. So invertebrates were classified into different groups. Arthropods, insects, arachnids, etc. You can say myriapods, crustaceans. Okay, and mollusks. Mollusks comes under. You can have some more groups: snails, octopuses, some other are there. Whereas annelids, earthworms, and leeches. This comes under this category. And when it comes to nidarians, see is a silent word here. Nidarians, hydra, and jellyfish. Out of all these classifications, you are going to learn about only insects and arachnids. That's all. No need to learn about all these things. You will learn this in your higher classes. So for the age of 5th class, you are going to learn about only insects and arachnids. What are insects and what are arachnids? Okay, these are going to learn about in your next videos, my dear students. Okay. So in this class part, we have learnt about the classification of animals based on the presence or the absence of vertebral column. They are vertebrates and invertebrates. Vertebrates are the animals that have backbone or spine or vertebral column. Whereas invertebrates that do not have vertebral column or backbone or spine. So first we are going to learn about the classification of invertebrates. Out of all these classifications, we are going to learn about only insects and arachnids. Okay, my dear students. So that's all for the today class. So when we meet in the next class, we are going to learn about the features about the insects and arachnids. Okay, my dear students. Until then, bye. Have a nice day.